Cleveland Browns fans, NFL draft nerds, welcome into Rogue Football. We have got our 7-round 2025 Cleveland Browns mock draft. Probably going to be the last one we do for the Browns. We will have another full first round mock here, but the Browns, 7 rounds here. Excited to get into it. This is a football team that I think can be heading in the right direction, but this draft is going to have a major impact both on the short term and the long term outlook for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, a team that maybe made the worst bet at quarterback that we have seen in the last decade plus with the Deshaun Watson trade and subsequent contract. That has been an absolute shadow, a phantom over this team for the last several years and continues to be so with the contract situation that they have with Deshaun Watson. Now, can they overcome that? That's the question. You still have the same regime in place, coaching staff, front office. Can they get past the mistake that they made with Deshaun Watson at quarterback? Obviously, they would bring back Joe Flacco. So I think great, right? I still think that quarterback, got to figure it out. Wide receiver, I think Jerry Jeudy, very nice. Cedric Tillman, I'm good with him as a third or fourth receiver. I don't think he should be wide receiver too. So I still think wide receiver, big need. I think edge opposite your boy, Myles Garrett, who got the bag. Congratulations to Myles Garrett. Congratulations to the Cleveland Browns for mending that bridge and mending that relationship. I think offensive tackle is really interesting. Obviously, DeJuan Jones going into year 2. Does he project to be a good starter? I think you have to find out. The other thing, though, is Jack Conklin. He's dealt with a lot of injuries throughout his career. He did play in 12 games, I believe, last year, finished the season. So maybe he's past the injuries a little bit. You've seen this before where heavily injured guys, they find their groove and that they're able to play. I mean, you saw it with my Jacksonville Jaguars. Brandon Sheriff, when he got to Jacksonville, he was injured every single year almost with Washington, and he came in and he was like an Iron Man for the Jaguars. So interesting situation there at offensive tackle. I think cornerback is really interesting because in theory, with Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, and Greg Newsome, you're good to go. But Newsome and Emerson are both on expiring contracts, and Emerson's coming off his worst season as a pro. So I think cornerback is at the very least a future need. And then running back, Nick Chubb no longer in the building. That's a tough one. You've got to figure out what his replacement is. So we're going to dive into this mock draft over on the PFF NFL Draft Simulator and get this thing popping. Now the Browns hold the second pick, 33, 67, 94, 104. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks in the top 104. I think that's a good situation to be in. I cannot get on board with drafting Shedeur Sanders at 2 overall. I just can't do it. I don't see him as a first-round prospect at the quarterback position. Now, Travis Hunter, to me, we don't need to go into the generational. That tag, who cares? He is an elite prospect. And I think if you want him to be your cornerback with Denzel Ward of the future, play him a little bit wide receiver as well. I think he can help you in both of those regards. I personally think he should be a wide receiver. I think he's going to make more money doing that. I think he's going to have a lot more glory. I think he's going to have a lot less issues at receiver just because cornerback is such a volatile position. Year to year, week to week, it's tough. Dealing with the best receivers in football is not easy. I think Travis Hunter would have a more profitable career if he sticks to the offensive side of the ball. But we'll see how that plays out. Either way, I think Travis Hunter is the best player in this class. And I think the Browns should take him with the second overall pick. Now, again, if you're playing him at cornerback more so than wide receiver, then you still have needs at wide receiver. If you're playing at wide receiver more than cornerback, you still have needs at cornerback. So I think either way, the Browns kind of have to make a decision here on what he should be playing or what he will be playing for them. If it's both, great. Hopefully he can do it at an extremely high level. I would not put it past him. I also think, potentially what's available to you in round 2 could help you flesh that out a little bit for year 1 with Travis Hunter, right? Like you have Luther Burden sitting here at 33 overall. If you take Luther Burden, you have now crossed off cornerback and receiver in pin. And to me, there's no way Luther Burden should fall to 33. He is my wide receiver one. Unbelievable hands, incredibly explosive, very strong, densely built receiver, especially throughout his lower half. I think he's going to be able to prove that he can run the full route tree. And again, explosive, strong, great hands, both in contested and easy catch situations. 3-level threat, yak guy, adjust really well to the ball in the air, down the field, make some difficult catches. I just cannot pass on him at 33 overall. This would be a dream scenario, being able to land Travis Hunter and Luther Burden with your first 2 picks. That is insane, in my opinion. Now, I would like to address edge. I'd like to address tackle. I'd like to address quarterback. We mentioned I wasn't comfortable with drafting Shedeur Sanders at 2 overall. Now we're sitting here at pick 67. Are we comfortable with taking a quarterback? Do we feel like this is the moment, the time to take a quarterback? Jalen Milroe still being on the board feels like very unlikely. And, I don't think there's any way Luther Burden should be available at pick 33. Is it possible? It seems like the NFL is not as high on him as I am. I still would find that surprising, but you take advantage here where you can. There's probably going to be somebody at 33 that makes no sense being there. It's just kind of how it goes. So, to me, out of all the quarterbacks in this class, who has the best, outside of Cam Ward, who is my top guy, who has the best overall game? Jalen Milroe certainly has the upside to be a unbelievable weapon at the quarterback position. I think Tyler Shuck is the best quarterback outside of Cam Ward right now and for the future, because he has the athleticism, the ability to throw off platform, the ability to throw odd arm angles, the absolute pop with his arm. Like, he can rifle it in there. He can throw with some touch. I think he has really good handle on the operational side of things at quarterback. He dealt with a lot of injuries throughout his career. He's an older quarterback. He's 25. Maybe that's a non-negotiable for some people. I don't know that I have to take him at 67. I think maybe I can wait till 94 and walk away from day 2 knowing we have a quarterback option that we can try to build around for the future. And again, you have Joe Flacco, who can play right now if need be. So where are we going to go with this pick? Again, edge, offensive tackle. So to me, Mbo and Savonnet are inside guys. Ozzie Trapilo, he could be a starting tackle. I think Charles Grant is definitely just unbelievably underrated here. He should not be on the board. I think when you look at edge, Femi Oladejo, I love him. Josiah Stewart, Ashton Gelati. Those are my top guys available there. We need running back as well. I believe with the depth of this class, you can wait and get a really good guy. But if you wanted to really kind of replicate what Nick Chubb gave you, I think the best guy to do that would be Damian Martinez. Underrated back. To me, he's a second-round talent. I'd be really good with that. They're physical, but shifty, vision, patience. I think he's got it all as a runner. What is going to benefit this team most at this point? That is the question. I think helping Myles Garrett out would be huge. I also think getting a workhorse back could be really good. You obviously, you have Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. It's not like the cupboard's completely bare. But to me, Damian Martinez is a hell of a player. Maybe we can wait a little bit on running back, though. I think getting somebody like Femi Oladejo, 67, round 3, pick 3, to me, he has an unbelievable ceiling. And I think he has a high floor just based on his physical traits, the tape he showed converting down from linebacker to edge, the energy he brings. I think he's going to be a darn good football player. All right, now we're at 94. Our guy's still way down the board. I don't think that's realistic, though. I think Tyler Shough will be a day 2 pick. He's just got all the physical traits you could ask for, and he's got good tape from this past year. And whenever he's been given the opportunity to start and play a lot of football, he's looked pretty darn good, even though he hasn't really been able to develop the consistency due to injuries and other circumstances. I like Tyler Shough a lot. Easily the most impressive quarterback at the Senior Bowl. So to me, we're just going to say we can't keep leaving this guy on the board. And we're going to be able to get somebody valuable at 104 as well. So we're sitting here. We've addressed corner. We've addressed receiver. We've addressed edge. There's definitely some options here to look at tackle. I think Anthony Belton has tackle and guard versatility. You have some age on the interior of your offensive line, so he could definitely project as a future starter. His highs are extremely high at tackle. Lows are existent on tape, though, unfortunately. I think Logan Brown would be a good swing. I think Chase Lunt would be a good swing. But there's guys who I just feel more comfortable with right now. 2 of them are right there, unfortunately, at positions that we've already taken. Yeah, we might have missed the boat a little bit on offensive line, but there's still guys worth taking a shot at. We just have to decide, is now the time to pull the trigger at offensive tackle, or should we wait a little bit? Because even like Emory Jones Jr. is not a bad swing. He just needs development. Let's look at running back. To me, if you wanted to go super explosive back, obviously Jadon Blue. If you want somebody who I think, and then Bashal Tutin as well, unbelievably explosive. There's a lot of guys that I think project as kind of more downhill. We just missed out on Charles Grant too. That would have been a great pickup. But, I think Chase Lunt could be a really good football player at the next level. Big, athletic, taller and leaner type of tackle out of Connecticut, UConn. I think Logan Brown could be a really nice swing here too. We'll go with Logan Brown, who I think has a little bit higher of a ceiling. Very big-time recruit. Got on the field for Kansas this year, played really well for them. Ty Robinson always staring me in the face here. Late in the draft. I don't see him falling to this point, but we'll take advantage of it. Because he can be another guy that kind of takes some pressure off of Myles Garrett in these clear pass rushing situations. Is a really explosive interior penetration style defensive tackle. Can help out the depth, can help you out long term there. I think just based off the strength of Travis Hunter, Luther Burden, Femi Oladejo, this is a really good draft. But overall, I'm really liking the way it's shaping out for the Browns here. Still have not addressed running back. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that have come off the board. Kyle Monangai, though, available here at this point. I cannot pass on him. I think he's going to be a really good early down back in the NFL. I think Jerome Ford and him kind of complement each other very well. At 200, again, we're just trying to find value, guys that can come make the football team, contribute on special teams potentially. And Ricky White is a great special teamer. So, yeah, we can definitely plug him in here to come in and be a core special teams player. He does it all. And I like his tape at receiver, too. Just didn't test super explosively. Malachi Moore is a player consistently underrated. I think, as a guy who played in that star position at Alabama a lot, he's not Brian, he's not Brian Banks, but he's a really good underrated safety who can do a lot, has a lot of versatility on the field for you. I think can contribute on special teams for sure. Final pick here. Trying to just find a player who is going to make this football team better. As we mentioned, Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson are both on expiring contracts. If Jabbar yeah, he is. He's right there. That's a starting nickel if I've ever seen one at the next level. So that'll do it for this draft for the Browns. I think home runs early on. Travis Hunter, Luther Bird, and Femi Oladejo. And then getting a quarterback who has an opportunity to be potentially an answer for you. Strong arm, accurate, able to play make, and has good operational understanding of how to play the quarterback position. Logan Brown, high upside swing. Ty Robinson, I think he provides some upside too. Kyle Monangai has the ability to be that in between the tackles runner, and I think he can operate in any system really. I don't think the Browns do like some outside zone. Kyle Monangai, maybe not the perfect fit for that, but just too good of a runner to pass on there. Ricky White at 200. Good special teams player, good receiver. Malachi Moore and Jabbar Muhammad kind of rounding this thing out as good values. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.